What's up, Godzilla fans? Samson West here, and I'm bringing you my next Godzilla figure review. So, as you can see here, we have the Marmit Monster Heaven Final Wars Kamacuras. And this is one of my favorite molds of this by far. It's kind of one of the only molds of this specific figure thus far, because right now there's only the Marmit Monster Heaven one. There's the tiny little Gashapons, just the tiny minifigures, but I don't really want or need that, so this is what I have, and he's brilliant. Marmit Monster Heaven has actually decided to make most of the Final Wars enemies that Bandai or whoever else could not. They made, of course, this one. They made the Final Wars Kumonga. They made the Final Wars Ebera. They made Final Wars Hedera. And they made Final Wars Manda, which I don't have Manda or Hedora yet. There is a Manda on eBay right now as of March 28th, 2012, but he's $300. I'm not willing to spend that much on that guy. And the Hedera, he doesn't actually, none of the Hederas that they have by Marmits have accurate paint schemes yet. So, yeah, I don't really want one of those yet. I'll wait for X Plus to release the Final Wars Hedera, but alright, I'm rambling here, not actually talking about this figure, so let's get back to this guy. This one is one of the most accurate paint schemes. There's actually two paint schemes. There's this one, and there's the second one. This is the first version. The second one has pretty much this color of this wing over the entire body, except for the eyes. I mean, this is like the base coat of the actual body of the figure, that wing right there, that forest, that deep forest green. But I like this one a lot better because it offers the spikes on the back with the red highlights, the same with the inside of the pincers and the toes and all that stuff. And this one just looks really great with all the varieties of colors. So, speaking of all those colors, let's get him up to the camera and talk about the detail on this guy. And let's adjust it like that. So yeah, the face looks really nice. It's just an insectoid-looking monster, of course. That's all he is. He's a giant praying mantis. He kind of has more of a fly-looking head than he does a praying mantis head. But I'm not complaining. It looks great either way, because you can see the eyes look great. They're the fly-ish look, where they have just the pixelated, tiny bunches of little tiny eyes so that he can see like a million different versions of you before you step on him. And it all comes down to a tiny fine point on the tip with all the little, I don't know what you'd call those fibers that he uses to sniff and taste stuff. He has his two adorable little antennas right there. Isn't that cute? And getting away from the cuteness, here is the horrific looking spikes on the back that surround his entire upper backside of his body, while his lower thorax is just, you know, a thorax with wings. And I like that the wings were actually separated instead of like enclosed and molded into the back thorax. It shows that he's not about to take off and fly, but he does have separate wings. So that's really nice right there. And you can see just they like put every stroke of detail that would go into the wings and just this one piece here, because this wing would separate into two pieces. What you see right here is one wing, and this little piece right here is the second one. So yeah, he has four wings altogether, but both of them are enclosed and molded right here. Alright, on the underbelly of the figure, it is a vibrant bright gold, which is just awesome by my standards. And oh yeah, there's something else that's really detailed. The way they segmented his underbelly of his face, that just looks awesome. I don't know how to describe what that's supposed to be. And he has more of a granite, gritty look right there, and it goes back to smooth, kind of defenseless looking bug. When you squish it, a bunch of goo would come out right there. So they segmented everything perfectly, and the red highlights they put on the giant spikes on the back, the pincers, the toes, and the underside of each leg, that's all just awesome by me. So detail is a definite 10 out of 10 on this guy. I don't know if X Plus will ever decide to make him, but if they do, they'll probably top this one. But right now, this is just awesome looking. So, okay. Oh yeah, I don't remember if I ever showed the header card or not, but here is the header card, and on the back it says 2005 Toy Festival Kamacuras in Japanese. There's the signature golden Godzilla sticker, so I do have the header card. I got this guy in the bag years ago. I don't remember when though, but it was obviously from 2005 to now. Okay, on to articulation on this figure. The head can spin all the way around with somewhat ease. I mean, it's kind of stiff. I don't want to do it I'm only going to do it this once, and I'm never going to do it again because I don't want this thing to be loose. That would drive me crazy. Each arm can spin 360 degrees, just like that. Let me make him straight up. Okay. And if you move the body a little bit, I'll get to that. This arm will spin too without bumping into this leg. You got to spin the body a little bit. So obviously with me saying that, the body does spin too. It spins 360 degrees where the top segment meets the thorax. And each of the legs spin a little bit. They won't go 360 because they'll bump into the other leg like that. So I'm not going to waste time and show you every single one of them not being able to spin all the way around. But yeah, so the legs do spin. So you just have those points of articulation, and I think that's all it really needs. It would have been neat if each of the wings moved, like it could pivot back and forth right here, but either way, it's really cool no matter what. Alright, now let's get on to sizing with this guy. Sizing is actually pretty great with any Bandai figure, and speaking of which, here is his #1 foe from the movie. It's the Bandai Godzilla from Final Wars. So I'd say the sizing here is pretty much just dead on. The Kamacuras was a pretty big monster in this movie. I mean, he was a pretty big monster in the 1967 movie too. He was like almost bigger than Godzilla. He's just a giant freaking insect. So yeah, you have the infamous scene where he flies into Godzilla. Godzilla grabs him, tosses him across the field, and he's like whoop right onto a telephone line, and that was pretty cool. He just died instantly. He didn't have a chance. He just got blown up, man. Game over, man. Game over. All right. So that's what he looks like next to the Final Wars Godzilla. Now let's go into a blast from the past and show him with his original appearance. So. Alright, I'll bring out my little trio of Kamacuras from 1967. I have the Marmit Para Babies Kamacuras. So here's 1, 2, 3! So there's the 3 Kamacurai that I have, or Kamakurases, from the 1967 movie. And this is just to show you what he looks like compared to his grandparents there. You got the giant grandson and his 3 granddaddies. Little boy, you don't need to be fooling around with that there giant Godzilla. He'll kick your ass. So, yeah, that's what these guys would have said, but they didn't get a chance to, and this Kamacuras got thrown into a telephone line and died. Which is unfortunate, but doesn't matter. Giant bug. Trillions of them get killed every day. Alright, now. Put him back in the somewhat... Well, let's get these guys out of the way first, and then put him back in the center. Alright, so that's my review on this guy. He's a really nice figure for the Final Wars Kamacuras. If you have a chance to get him, you should. He's pretty rare right now. You're not going to be able to find him easily, but if you find one, try to get him, because you're not going to have much of another chance to get him in the future. Okay, with all that being said, I don't know what more to say, except this is the end of my review, you guys. Sayonara.